Let's say someone comes along and offers you this. You work just 30 minutes every day. You must improve your skills daily. You will start with $10 weekly, but income will grow 10% each week if you persist. The second option is to take $5,000 every month.
No need to develop skills, improve, or exert effort.
So let's just assume that you went with the first option and your friend chose the second. First month, you'll get $51. Your friend gets $5,000. Your friend will say your decision was dumb. Ignore him. A month later, he'll make $10,000 while you earn $126 daily. Your dad says, "What nonsense. Take the other offer. It's still there." You defy your dad, saying, "No, I know what I'm doing." By month 3, your friends made $15K. You only $235. Family and friends will criticize, but you'll carry on. After 12 months, you'll have $15,500. Your friend, $60,000. After 16 months, you'll finally be making as much as your friend. You and your friend both earned $80,000. Your dad will say, "Finally, you're doing something." You won't be defiant then.
You'll thank him. After 17 months, you'll make $127,000.
Your friend makes $85,000. After 18 months, you'll make $186,000. Your friend makes $90,000. By year 2, you'll hit $2.2 million, averaging $1.1 million per year.
And your friend will have made $120,000. This was an example of the compound effect, which is a form of consistency. The story teaches an important lesson: how small, clever, yet humble daily choices made consistently can lead you to unimaginable places. Today, we'll answer 2 key questions. Why is consistency the most dangerous human weapon? And how can we use it? We know consistency is a powerful weapon. But before we discuss its strength, there's a small issue. Honestly, it's a huge problem. The thing is, to do the same thing every day for a long time, you need discipline. So before you decide to be a person of consistency, a consistent person, you must be disciplined. You cannot be consistent without discipline.
God gave you something vital in your brain, but, as usual, you neglected it.
It's called the prefrontal cortex.
This area in the brain is very, very, very important. It's located at the front. This prefrontal cortex has many vital functions, but its most important is controlling the self-discipline you need to maintain an action. This area grows and shrinks. Care for it. It gets bigger, stronger, and you control desires. The more you neglect it, the smaller it gets. As it shrinks, it weakens, making it hard to resist temptations or do useful, boring tasks.
Because the neural networks for discipline weakened. He's like a puppet, easily led by anything. And you become quite stupid. Very stupid, actually. When your prefrontal cortex weakens, planning or thinking ahead does too. This is key for consistency. Your prefrontal cortex helps you consider future outcomes, not just the present.
For example, starting a business, you would need to learn marketing, then sales, come up with a strong idea, and keep developing it for months. This is all long-term thinking. But a weak prefrontal cortex seeing this goes crazy, telling you, forget it, go eat something. No thought for the future, no planning. So what causes this? What weakens yet strengthens our frontal cortex? Lack of sleep and exercise absolutely destroy it. Add chronic stress. Stress means high cortisol. High cortisol fuels fear and emotional brain centers.
It weakens your prefrontal cortex and you constantly succumb to temptations. Chasing dopamine like a rabbit, ditching important tasks for reals.
Repeatedly, the prefrontal cortex shrinks, weakening.
Conversely, if you resist, that first time will feel incredibly hard.
Over time, your prefrontal cortex strengthens. You're training it, and clear improvement takes 2 to 3 years feeding your brain trash and toxins. So don't begrudge a few months to get back to being a normal person.
But if you can discipline and train your prefrontal cortex for 6 months, you'll be able to consistently do things for a long time.
Consistent action over time. You'll unlock humanity's strongest weapon. A weapon that lets you snatch the morsel from the lion's mouth, enabling you to accomplish things you never imagined possible. That weapon is consistency. Why is consistency such a dangerously powerful weapon?
Consistency trumps talent, trust me. Every time. In neuroscience, it's called neuroplasticity.
Simply, your brain changes shape and connections by what you repeat. Each time you repeat an action, the neural networks strengthen, signals quicken, and the action becomes automatic. Thus, for someone training daily, the skill becomes almost automatic. And there's Kobe Bryant. Take Kobe, he understood this. He trained 3 times a day. He'd tell you, if I train 2 hours more than you every day, after a year, no talent would be able to close that gap.
Here's a story. A friend once told me he wanted to be a video editor. Now back then, I used to think you had to be a bit gifted for that. I mean, he had a bit of talent. He wasn't really the kind of person who had ever actually worked with software or even used a PC before. He was never the kind of person knowledgeable about design or who would watch things for visual inspiration for editing. He was the complete opposite. He was buff, like he could just easily take someone down.
No way. He could be anything but a video editor. So I supported him.
I told him go for it. He'd make videos, edits. It was unwatchable. It was completely awful. But he had a unique quality.
I imagined he could be, say, a video editor or designer. He had continuity. He had amazing persistence. From 2023 till today, he likely hasn't slept a night without editing.
And today, honestly, he's the best video editor I've ever seen.
This brings us to a point. Why does consistency beat talent? Simply, practice makes
It's
perfect.
a cliché, but it's true. Practice makes perfect.
Consistency will make you do that thing daily. And eventually you'll get so good that no talent can catch up to you. A photography professor at the University of Florida experimented on his students. He split his class. The first group called them quality. He told them they passed the course if they submitted just one photo.
The photo had to be 100% perfect. Think carefully. Plan, test lighting, angle, everything. I'll grade you on just one best photo. The second, the quantity group, he said, I don't care if the photo is perfect.
I care about the count. 100 photos, full marks. 90 you'll get less. 80 photos less. Then something strange occurred.
The professor found the class's best photos were from the quantity group.
The experiment shows those focusing on quantity and repetition produced the best quality. Skill comes from repetition, not just thought. Those who sought perfection initially failed. Those who let themselves fail 100 times achieved mastery. Consistency will make you work on a certain skill for a long time, long enough to help you reach the mastery you've been dreaming of. And most importantly, enough time to conquer any talent.
That's why those extra 2 hours Kobe practiced made such a huge difference. But seriously, look around. How many of your generation are actually working on themselves? Kobe was competing against NBA players, so he needed that high volume and crazy plays. Kobe, for example, didn't take vacations. He'd still train during them. But among 100, maybe 1 or 2 are awake. This leads to a great point. There's a saying I love.
You beat 50% just by showing up. Another 40% with a great attitude. But the last 10% is a dogfight. You beat 50% of people just by starting. You'll overcome another 40% if you persist with discipline. Then you'll fight the final 10%.
What does this mean? Before I tell you, we've enabled channel memberships for a small fee. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm not used to this. Before I tell you what it means, we've enabled channel memberships. No exclusive videos for members, it's just channel support to continue content.
Much love everyone, keep watching. What does this mean? Consistency gives a rare advantage. Consistency is rare. Most start, few finish. That's why if you can stick with it for a year or two, you're probably not competing against everyone anymore. You're now competing with the remaining few. The biggest issue with consistency, initial results are often invisible. Your brain asks, why bother? But those who endure this reach a level few ever will.
And that's when consistency becomes a huge competitive advantage, also amplifying results.
This is key. Consistency yields extraordinary results. It gives compounded results. Let me give an example. Imagine someone learns video editing. The first month, mastering basics, cutting, adding music, swapping clips.
Progress was slow, But eventually, they learned storytelling.
Suddenly, a story builds in a video, and you notice their editing is much better. Then, they made the decision to learn how to capture
Suddenly,
people's
videos got
attention.
more impactful. Then, they learned social media algorithms.
Then, videos went viral. Note this. Each new skill wasn't just a minor improvement.
Editing alone is one thing. The story is another.
Editing, story, audience insight, that's entirely different. Progress isn't always linear. Not 1 + 1 + 1 = 3. Sometimes 1 + 1 + 1.
I'll give you an even better
10.
example. I mentioned my friend earlier who wanted to be a video editor, and I doubted him. But he became the best video editor I've ever seen.
Anyway, this friend of mine started approaching businesses offering his services.
He knew how to make videos. After video editing, he learned sales and persuasion to pitch his service. After learning sales, he could pitch his service to business owners. He started uploading videos. But he noticed it's not just about cool videos. Businesses want customers, not just cool videos.
So he had to learn marketing to use in his videos to benefit the business owners and keep them as clients. So here you see the same pattern. Each skill he added wasn't simple progress. It compounded, building on the one before. Today, that friend owns a social media marketing agency.
That's why someone who stays consistent with one thing for years can seem like an overnight success. But he just reached the stage where his skills truly compounded. And by consistency, I don't mean you have to kill yourself every day.
That's not what consistency is. It's about staying focused, even if you miss a day.
Even if you miss 2 days, that's fine. The main thing is to stick to your clear path.
And as we said, consistency is how you achieve your goals. But quick results, that gambler's mindset of flipping your life in a month, forget it.
Honestly, I put a lot of thought into this video, as consistency is overused by self-help gurus.
And I'm not a big fan of that crowd. This isn't a self-development channel or anything like that. Anyway, guys, write down some topics you'd like us to talk about in the comments. And that's it. That was today's video. Become a member. I'm Laythar Sawan, and this is Consistency.